can speak now to our chief political correspondent, Adam Fleming.
Now, the US Supreme Court could be about to overturn the nationwide legal right to abortion, according to a leaked document.
Protests are being held in Washington after the US website Politico say that they have seen details of a report which states it will strike down the landmark Roe versus Wade ruling, which legalised terminations across America. Richard Galpin has the report. Elsewhere, the UN and Red Cross hope to oversee the evacuation of another group of civilians from a steelworks plant in Mariupol.
There are hundreds of people still trapped inside the Azovstal bunkers, including dozens of young children. Our correspondent Joe...
I feel like we need some weather.
We definitely need some weather. Well, you particularly want some weather, I know that.
Yes, well, I'm playing golf tomorrow, but Carol's already... He is amazing, isn't he?
He is amazing.
I know we didn't quite make it to the top of Snowdon, but I'm
He learnt a lot.
Somehow he'll do it.
Yeah, that was Graham Satchell with that report. And just a reminder that Martin is raising money for the Spinal Injuries Association. And
I love the fact that some of the people who've helped him along the way are
there with him.
And they'll be going to Kilimanjaro as well.
They were with him right at the start.
Sure, it's a strong bond, that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Now, when Sammy Gray was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma in 2018, shortly after the birth of her first child, she didn't think she would live to see her daughter Harper grow up, let alone have another child.
Now, at the age of 26, she's recently given birth to a baby boy, Walter, after pioneering treatment called CAR-T cell therapy, which trained her body, essentially, I'm trying my best to explain it. We've got some experts, thankfully, with us to fight back against the cancer. Sammy and her... See you soon.
It is 8:31. That means it's time to get the news, the travel and the weather where you are this morning.
Hello, good morning. You're watching Breakfast with Sally and Dan this morning.
As we've been discussing this morning, the energy company BP has reported almost £5 billion in underlying profit for the first 3 months of the year.
Now, this comes at a time when households we know are struggling with the rising cost of living, and there are calls for a windfall tax to be introduced.
We're joined now by the Labour leader, Sir Keir.
You can see a bit of the grey sky behind Sir Keir's
It's a little bit
there.
grey, wasn't it?
Let's find out what's happening with the weather.
You love that temperature, don't you?
Well, but I need it tomorrow, really, not Thursday.
Oh, I see.
Anyway,
right, of course.
Enough about the golf. Now, she played a key role in saving the wizarding world as Ginny Weasley in the Harry Potter series, and now actor Bonnie Wright plans to do the same in the Muggle world too.
I like what you did there. She joins us now to discuss how small changes in our everyday lives. You're watching BBC Breakfast. It is 8:59.
Let's bring you one of the big stories from the morning. The energy company BP has announced that its underlying profit in the first 3 months of this year was nearly £5 billion. That's the biggest it's been in a decade.
Well, this comes at a time when families are facing the biggest squeeze on living standards in 50 years. Nina is here with the details.
The US Supreme Court could be about to overturn the nationwide legal right to abortion, according to a leaked document.
Protests are being held in Washington after the US website Politico says it's seen details of a report which states it will strike down the landmark Roe versus Wade ruling, which legalised terminations across America. Richard Galpin reports. It is 4 minutes past 9. You're watching Breakfast. That means it's time for a last quick look at the headlines where you are this morning.
Welcome back. Now, a senior US official is claiming Russia is preparing to hold votes on independence in occupied Ukrainian territory.
These tactics were also used to formalise the annexation of Crimea in 2014. Comes as Russian forces are believed to have resumed shelling at the steelworks in Mariupol despite a recent ceasefire.
We're joined now by our security correspondent. That is it from us on Breakfast.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.